Welcome back to another rebuild on Madden 23, and today we're going to be doing another Chicago Bears rebuild, as this one will actually feature all of the real-life moves that they have made, which I made a couple of decent moves that were kind of close to what they did in real life after the DJ Moore trade, but it wasn't exactly the same. You know, I got the TJ Edwards, selection, right, and that's pretty much, or free agent signing, right, and that's kind of it. There was some things I liked, but there's also some things I didn't like. I do like Darnell Wright, the right tackle. However, for them to pass on Jalen Carter for a fourth-round pick, I think was a big no-no. I know you got to try and fix the offense, which I kind of think the Bears front office right now, because they have that extra first-round pick, I'm not saying they're gone or they're out on Justin Fields, but I think this is a year where they're like, we don't care what the defense looks like. We want to make sure the offense is pro-level, and if it's good and he still can't throw the ball, we can move on with those two first-round picks we have, and boom, you're sorted. That is my idea of it. Sure, they did draft a couple of defenders, and they actually did add some in the defense in the offseason, but as far as the edge goes, like, the D-line is still awful. It is so bad. It is just terrible, and Jalen Carter could have definitely helped that. But like I said, I think they are just trying to make it where, okay, our offensive line is good now. Our receivers are really good now. Our running back, sure, you can say it downgraded, but Herbert looks so much more explosive and better than David Montgomery, and David Montgomery obviously has an injury history. Deontay Foreman's solid. They added Roschon Johnson, who is obviously not the fastest guy in the world, but super powerful. This is an offense that should be good, whereas maybe the whole team isn't good because of that defense, but now if Fields still struggles, it's got to be him, right? It has to be him. The receivers are assuming they're healthy because Mooney has obviously had some issues. It's a receiving group that's easily good enough. They went from easily the worst in the league to easily a top 15 in the league. And then obviously offensive line. The problem with this team wasn't that the offensive line was the worst in the world, right? You keep hearing Fields doesn't have any time. The problem was the receivers. They actually did all right on the offensive line. Obviously, there was a lot of blown plays where, the Fields would be instantly running, but the offensive line wasn't as bad as you would have thought. It's just the receivers are so bad that they just didn't get open. There was no reads to make. In my opinion, Fields, he can probably make all the throws. The question is, can he make all the reads? Thing is, there really wasn't many reads to make last year, like I said, because of those receivers. So obviously this is a much better unit, and Darnell Wright here, this is the way I have him rated. I changed him up a little bit compared to what the roster had done, as he's obviously a big mauler, definitely hugs players quite a bit, but better in the power game than he is in the the finesse game, not the release game. Maybe a little bit faster than he should be probably, but start development trait for sure. I think he's actually a really solid player. What was that strength? I thought I had him at 93. Yeah, don't know why last second I thought it was 87, but I think it's a solid pick. I just think that their plan, like I said, probably is to make the offense good, whereas the defense, who cares? Quarterback is the toughest position to draft, right? And it's the toughest to develop. If you have everything set and the quarterback still isn't good at throwing, you have to move on. They can do that with those two first-round picks. I think they're set up for that really well. Whereas the defense, we know this is going to be a bad unit, right? Like, this is just not a good unit. Tyreek Stevenson, I think, was a pretty solid pick. I have him at star development trait because of that. But ultimately, this is a defense that I'm not really sure how they're going to generate pressure. I know DeMarcus Walker was pretty... Where the hell even is he? Was pretty decent with the Titans last year, but he's old as hell, and it's just not going to work out in Madden. I think he's like 28 or 29, actually, not even 27. But yeah, not really working out for us in Madden. Real life, maybe you got something, right? Like Travis Gibson and Robinson at one point in time, every once in a while, looked pretty good. But overall, just as players, they're just not great. Jalen Johnson hasn't really been that great lately. I will say Eddie Jackson, good, bad. So based on history, probably going to be a bad season for him. But definitely played better in the second half of the season. Edmonds, big risk, but could be big reward. TJ Edwards is obviously a great signing. I mean, he was huge for the Eagles, and more importantly, it's not a crazy contract. It's like $6 million per year for 3 years, whereas Edmonds, I know you got a second for Roquan, but it really begs the question of why you didn't just keep Roquan. I just don't understand. But Jack Sanborn, decent, but no Sewell. I think the what is it called? The theme of the Bears draft, specifically on defense, was depth. It wasn't like expecting to get starters right now, but to have depth at those positions. And once again, they have become a lot younger, and there's a lot more potential now on this team to work for the future. So I think they did a really good job in the offseason, getting younger, but some of the position decisions, I would have loved to see them actually get a decently proven edge rusher, even if, it costs them a little bit of money. I'm trying to think of who that could have really been, though. In fairness, it wasn't the greatest free agent class in the world, but yeah, I just think, especially in Madden, this front is going to be useless. It is going to be so useless. Brisker kind of developed near the end of the season as well, and overall, there's a couple of pieces on this defense. The linebackers, I think, are a lot better now, but I think you still have to work with so much. You have to still fix so much on that defense. And then offense, we're hoping Fields is the guy, but I'm not sure. I'm also thinking we might need to change the scheme. I'm going to kind of monitor it. Obviously, we want Justin Fields to run and utilize the legs a bit, but you don't invest as much you did in the offensive line and invest in these receivers as much as you did if you want him to play exactly like he's played the first couple of seasons of his career, right? You definitely want to start developing the pass game. At least that's the way it seems with the receivers they got. So that's probably the goal. So if I have to change playbooks for that, I will. Saints fans constantly hearing me talk about maybe this could have been the Saints rebuild. I apologize. You'll definitely get a rebuild at some point. I don't know. I just feel like the Bears have done more to differentiate, whereas the Saints haven't done a whole lot in the draft, and I already did a Derek Carr rebuild, so I was but yeah, that's basically that. Maybe leave a like and subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, really appreciate your continued support on the channel. And like I said, with that Saints rebuild specifically, what team would you like to see next for a rebuild? I don't really see that many suggestions for what teams that haven't already been done. I'll get one that's can you do this rebuild? It's I literally did that 7 days ago. It's I get it. Maybe you're new. I apologize for being rude. But at the same time, it's maybe look, maybe check and then be oh, yeah, he hasn't. So, let me do this. If it takes me 4 to 5 hours to do a rebuild, I think you could do 10 seconds checking if I've done it already or not, Beating the Niners in week 1. Okay, this could be an interesting one. Oh, Travis, could be him. All right, so we should be still pretty set on money because that's just how the team is in real life. Not really anyone crazy. Obviously, Tanyan and Foreman were kind of 1-year deals. Very solid role player deals. Foreman, obviously the running back market is just terrible, which I actually almost did a Dalvin Cook Chicago Bears rebuild. As I think there's a decent chance. I know they really like the running back room they have, but they still have money. Dalvin Cook would probably like to get some revenge on the Vikings, and obviously he's still got a lot left in the tank and is a good player. I've seen something, though, where it was he was ranked really low on losing yards a lot or something. He actually lost yards quite a bit. It's just that he made up for it with explosive runs, and obviously the yards per carry look good, but a lot of explosive runs that kind of countered that. So I don't know. The Vikings line isn't even that bad either, so it's not like he just played behind the worst line ever. But yeah, I was going to, and I was you know what? That would kind of ruin the rebuild. Maybe the Bears do sign him in real life. I have to redo this. I don't know. But yeah, I just don't know. But they do have the most to offer him, so surprisingly, even though we had a terrible season, might not be the worst in the division. We are because of the Vikings winning. Did we get the number 1 overall pick because of that? Back-to-back number 1 overall picks would be shocking for the Bears, and well, here you are. And the Panthers were 7-10. Usually they're actually pretty good. Obviously, there's a lot riding on this rebuild or these draft picks with losing, so I will show you guys that we didn't force any losses. Because in fairness, it would make a lot of sense to lose. And right around here is when I put the Cincinnati playbook on. I felt the Bengals like to run the ball a good amount, and they spread the ball around a lot, which is what I would expect from the Bears. So obviously Fields' rushing numbers are going to take a little bit of a hit, but it's just the way it is, right? In Madden, nothing's going to be perfect. I'm not going to be able to find a playbook where they throw the ball a lot, the quarterback still runs around a little bit, and they run the ball a decent bit. And it's just not going to happen. But Justin Fields' numbers, not great, but not bad. I don't know if I want to get rid of him, because in real life, I feel like he is the guy, but we did just get the number 1 overall pick back-to-back years. Receiving, it's just what do I do? At some point, I gotta be realist, and he was pretty bad. Travis Gibson, not bad. Could go up in dead. That'd be kind of sick. Santos wasn't great. I mean, that is a lot of losses for Justin Fields' career. What would he be at this point? Like 8 for 34 or something? It would be ridiculous. I don't even know the number, but it would be really bad. Like 10 and 30 something would be his career record. Not a bad season. Where does that rank him for passer rating? I suppose passer rating isn't perfect, but it's the quickest, easiest way for us to find out, how bad he truly was. It's pretty low. That would make him, 1, 2, 3, the 4th worst quarterback in the league. Ooh. I don't know. I mean, if there's a guaranteed quarterback, I kind of need to make a play. I mean, at some point, you got to differentiate between the game and real life, whereas, I mean, even in real life, we obviously don't know if Fields is the guy. But MVP goes to Mahomes. Ironic timing for that one. Any award wins? There was not, sadly. Interesting Super Bowl matchup. The Buccaneers versus the Chargers, with the Chargers winning it in year 1. That is a little bit of an odd one, but I haven't looked at the scouting yet. But like I said, if there's a quarterback, I think you replace Fields. How old is he now? Like 24, technically would be 25. His accuracies aren't bad. It's just like he doesn't do well in sim for some reason. And we just got the first pick overall back-to-back years while having another like top 5, top 10 pick with the Panthers pick, which is obviously pretty realistic there. Receivers, I mean, you kind of think about replacing Claypool, right? I know they gave up that second-round pick, which I don't know why they used their own to get him, but yeah, I just think you gotta replace Fields at this point. But I don't like the whole half point of the reason to do this rebuild would be to develop Fields and see if he can do it. So I don't know. Maybe we give him one more year, trade down from pick 1 again, and keep that future credit roll going, if you will. Because as long as you have the 2 first-round picks in any draft year, you have a really good chance to get up to the top 5 to grab a quarterback. So maybe give Fields one more chance, just because it is Madden. Usually it takes 2 seasons before the team gels together for some reason. But yeah, as far as free agents go, Tanyan and Foreman just really weren't used, so there's really no point in keeping them. So over 100 mil to decide on who we want from free agency to help this team out. I'm not really sure who's going to be here. Kareem Hunt. This team does need a running back, and Kareem Hunt is a very good running back. I don't think the Browns are going to keep him forever. It's been so long since I've got him, and he gives me faster Matt Forte vibes, but not by much. Not by much faster. And obviously this team loves themselves a good Matt Forte, a guy that nobody ever really talks about, even though he's obviously a really good player, or was a really good player, I should say. Currently one of the best in the league. And as far as wide receivers go, I do not want to pay a whole lot of money for a Michael Thomas injury-prone fella. Hardman, maybe, but he is kind of on the decline these days. Chark, I mean, we could use a wide receiver, but I think unless they're super proven, there's really no point in grabbing them. I will say Hardman's actually really good outside of release, but yeah, I don't know if speed really matters too much in sim. And then offensive line, we may look to replace the left tackle in the future, but as of right now, I mean, other than a center, we're kind of set, which, I mean, center, there's not really much going on here that's young anyways. You're pretty much getting the same guy you already have. D-line, Bryce Huff could be an option. He's a young player. Don't know how well he's played. 9.5 sacks. So he actually developed really nicely for that one season. I mean, I'm willing to give him kind of a crazy one. A 2-year 26, which apparently is still nowhere near how much he wants. A 2-year 30? Please? I need an edge rusher, and even though I probably will draft one, I might need multiple. Travis Gibson was actually pretty good for us, but not 100% sold. This is kind of crazy, though. Base 4.3, scheme fit, no income tax, career win percentage. Okay, so our win percentage does suck, I will admit. Bryce Huff is a lot of money, but I suppose pass rushers aren't going for a lot these days. Maybe not this much, but it would be nice to get him, so I'm going to try to. I don't know if we're going to get him with that, but it is what it is. We are going to probably draft edge, and Travis was decent, so you could also see that, the edge situation isn't great in free agency. Oh, Josh Allen. Is he supposed to be a free agent? He's also not great. He's not much better than Huff. We sadly do not get Bryce Huff, and even Kareem Hunt is fighting us here. he does realize he is 28 years old with star dev, right? Like, he's a running back in this market while being star dev. Thank you, though. We'll take you. Of course, I don't know what his stats would look like because, hasn't been a starter. Oh, he was on the Jets, apparently, actually. Okay, fair enough. Whatever. He wasn't great. Going to be the premier back here, as Khalil Herbert wasn't great, and maybe proving that he was a better backup than an actual starter. I don't know. Oh, I also don't remember if we showed all of the dev-ups we got, but Gervon Dexter is a star development trait player, not on offense, but a couple on defense. Gervon Dexter being one of them, of course. Edmonds went up in dev, which is really nice. What is his speed? 87 speed. He is pretty good. His coverage does suck, but he is obviously really solid, especially for Madden. And then TJ Edwards, of course, went up in dev, which, it would have been nice if he started at star, but we'll take what we can get as we got ourselves several dev-ups. 3 on defense, unless there was another one that I just completely forgot about, but I don't think that was the case. Travis was, actually, was he? Star development? I think he might have started as star, right? I think he starts out at star, if I'm not mistaken. I don't even know, but not bad, I suppose, especially for the side of the ball that matters the most for upgrading, although that's more of a real-life thing as in-game here. The offense is actually really bad, too. But, yeah, a lot of defense is about to be drafted, let me tell you that much. So we're in the draft, and we have pick 1 and 7, which is ridiculous. And the best quarterback is Mr. Matt Mills, who does not really even look that great. So we absolutely will not be taking quarterback. This is where it would be nice to have a real-life class, because we could have used, taking Caleb Williams, but obviously we didn't use one, and even if we did, wow, that tight end looks good. But even if we did, it wouldn't have been the most realistic, which is why I just avoid real-life classes for the following year. But we're going to end up trading this pick down. I'm going to try to get what I can. I don't know if it's going to be a Panthers-level trade, because there's only, well, I guess, in theory, it would be more of a Panthers-level trade, because he's the only decent quarterback. I'll go show you the other quarterbacks. At least I think so. I'm pretty sure. I did scout another quarterback, put him a little bit later down the list. But, yeah, I mean, this is just a terrible class. Like, maybe there's another star or two. Maybe Kerr is okay. But, yeah, it is a very bad class where Mills is the only halfway decent guy. And even he's like, 72 to 75 range probably. So, if a team really needs a quarterback, they have to go to 1. There's no going to 4 and still getting your guy. You're going to have to get to 1 if you want a QB. The Bears are doing it again. We're going to be trading pick 1 over to the Raiders for 17, 22, and Merrick, but it is not done. 17 and 22. Was it 21, 22? Was it 22? 17 and technically 22 next year. For this year, would only be 1,700 points to the 3,000 that pick 1 carries. Merrick, if you valued him at this point, I would probably say maybe pick 40. You would still be missing over a first round in value, so we are going to still be snagging some extra picks from the Raiders. Obviously, they're going to be going for their quarterback. I mean, I would hope so. Jimmy Garoppolo is not quite the best player on their team anymore. And, yeah, we're going to be grabbing some extra draft picks off of this team. Unless there's another position we could take, which I don't think realistically. Nate Hobbs, I think they've already lost their safety. I think you can part with a safety without feeling too bad about it. I think this would still be just draft picks. So we get 49 this, 81 this, and 54 next, which, they didn't jump from, like nearby us to pick 1. They jumped from 17. Sure, that first round next year could suck, but they jumped from 17, which is really far down. So I can't remember the exact numbers, but 17, 22, 49, 81, and 49, I believe, is like pretty much what we got. And that is worth 27.35 for points versus 3,000 for pick 1. But obviously, those picks are considered for this year. We obviously know that next year picks are devalued, so it's easily, without a doubt, fair. And honestly, maybe could have argued we should have had more, which is even crazier to think. But it is factual. It is true. Here's a reason why the Panthers look like they got absolutely fleeced, because that pick was worth that much. You got to think, they gave up, DJ Moore, a first, another first, and I think it was a second. That's nowhere near what we just got for pick 1 again, but still a win, without a doubt, because we kind of need a safety for the future. Merrick would probably step in as the number 1 right now, with Eddie Jackson being the backup. So, like we said, with that rookie class, the theme being depth. Definitely have depth at the safety spot now. Trayvon Merrick, welcome to the Bears. Just take the QB, though, please. Yes, okay. That's all I wanted. Of course, we have a lot of other players. There's a couple of pass rushers up top that, I kind of want to grab. I don't know if I'm going to make a jump for him, but there's a guy named Rishkal or Rachel, one of the two. I don't know. Richal, I don't know how you would say it, but hopefully he's there. And he is still there. Question is, with all the edge rushers that I have, do I want him? I think I do, but I don't know at the same time. We got a couple of wide receivers that look pretty good. Any of these three would be great. These two are speeders, and then this guy's obviously the tall guy, but he's also pretty fast too, which I think this team would actually lose Claypool, so I have to release him because he should be gone. This team, after a 600-yard, 2-touchdown season, with help around him, there's just no way they would keep him, so I kind of have to get rid of him for nothing, which sucks, but it's true. There's so many other pass rushers, though. You have Kendrick Ward, who's a 1-2, 6'5", 271 with a little bit of speed. Fits as that DN role. You have Cameron Gallery, who is 22 years old, a power move, pretty damn fast as well, even faster than the other guy. And then you have Carter, I don't know a lot about, but you assume he's got at least a B in power move or finesse, very athletic as well. And then, of course, you have another guy here, and then you have the DT, and then I have some edge rushers. This is the guy I was talking about, though. Mr. Kendall Rachel, decently fast with an A power move, awareness, A to C block, A to C finesse. I don't know if I want to risk it on him when all those other players are there. You mean have Carnegie as well. Wisconsin, 6'5", athletic. He does have the type. 6'5" with athleticism, does have the type. Man, do I want to? I'm going to do it. People complain I trade down too much. And he is hidden. 85 speed, 87 excel. I had a really bad draft to pick. I don't even remember what rebuild. Was it the Chargers rebuild? Where I may or may not have taken a guy that was, 79 speed normal. So that is a bit of an upgrade from there. 1-2 for the wide receivers. I think we could easily get away with moving down to 17. Probably should have traded down, but at least we got our guy. And Travis Gibson, I don't know if he's good enough to keep as the starter. Sounded like a goose there. But he could be. The Jets willing to give me something. I do want to trade down this pick because I've got a lot of players and I could just trade up if need be. I think the Jets are giving me too good of a pick to pass on. Third round this year and a second round next year. All late in fairness, but I think worth it. They go for a Kendrick Sweet. Let's keep moving. Ooh, Travis is also 26. That would make me pivot a little bit, I will admit. The wide receivers are all there. A lot of pass rushers did go, but we still do have one or two. I don't remember who is better of the two. I would say off top, it looks like Davis is better, but let's find out. Gallery, I'm pretty sure, was very athletic. 22 years old with a 4.59 great speed versus Davis, who does look a little more polished. Same age. Same left side ratings, but obviously right side is a little bit worse. 29 bench press reps versus what? What was Gallery? I suppose strength matters quite a bit since they're both power rushers. Oh, we got to go Gallery. Cameron Gallery is the choice. Thankfully, hidden development trade because that block shed looked really bad. But the strength, the speed, the power move, good pick. And here, it looks like we're going to have our choice at wide receiver if that's what we want to go. Oh, I almost forgot. Not wide receiver. Wide receiver's great and all, but there is a 6'4" corner. Almost forgot. Don't even really need corner, but I'm going to take one anyways because he's 6'4". If you're a 6'4" corner and I kind of need you, I'm going to take you every day of the week. The classic 6'4", fast corner. Welcome to the team, Sammy Hayward. Hidden development trade. I've seen a lot of normals, but usually these guys are star. 95 speed, 95 excel, 94 change of direction. I mean, that's a win. That's an absolute win there. Next pick is at 17, though. O-line is a thought, but we only really need one, maybe two linemen, and we have a couple of 2-3s, 3-4s, so might as well wait on those. McCullough was interesting. Davidson, I think, is the best bet at DT. Will he be there at 17, though? Safety is no longer a need because of Merrig. The right tackle, Craig Dixon, though, he does look good. Can I trade up? We have a lot for next year I would be willing to dip into if I guarantee myself a talent. Dixon looks really good. We trade 49 this and Gibson for 41 and 112, so we move up 8 spots and gain a 4th. I think Gibson's easily worth, late 3rd, early 4th with an 8.5 sack season and 79 overall. We just found someone better. I would hope. I wouldn't say better, actually, because he was a 79 overall, but better long-term, I would imagine. In this pick, I kind of think I should take the DT and then actually wait on wide receiver. I know I just said I wanted the fast guy, but I mean, this guy is fast as well, though, isn't he? He's 21 years old, fits the replacement of, I mean, you're basically getting another Claypool, but he's on a 4-year deal. And DT is definitely a need, and this is the last guy. So even though he doesn't look great, I think I'm going to take the chance on Justin Davidson. Hopefully he's good enough. That's all I can hope for. And another hit in. There we go. There we go. That is pretty fortunate, to be honest. And Dixon's still there, but our draft pick, kind of ability here is kind of dwindling. Wilburn does go. The Patriots could use a wide receiver themselves, but we're going to hopefully sweeten the pot enough. Trade the 4th round pick we just got with 65 and a 7th next year for 44, which will be used on the wide receiver. I don't know if this guy's going to be any good, but I guarantee, I mean, obviously in a user sense, Wilburn definitely was. So the value at wide receiver right now is really solid still. This wide receiver does look a little raw, but I'm obviously going to take the chance. KJ Townsend, another hidden development trait player, 93 speed, 95 jumping. This has been a very good draft class. Is there any other play? Like if Dixon's there still, do I not just go crazy mode and take him as well? Because we're kind of running out of players / positions that we actually even need. Dixon is still there. Like, I don't really need much more, and he's like a fill at tackle. Can I not just, like, trade a tackle over to the Bills? Like, a.k.a. Braxton Jones, who's not even bad. It's just not only is the contract coming up-ish, but more importantly, well, they actually do need a tackle, too. They probably would have taken Dixon if I didn't make the trade up. But a good player is just, older. Braxton Jones and a 3rd-round pick. I'll make it a little bit better, even though I think this is easily fair. I'm going to add a 5th-round pick this year, and boom. So a lot of people, hey, he trades him around too much. I'm sorry, but it's just like I have to because these guys look way too good not to, and, so they're going to allow me to trade. I'm going to take the trade every day of the week. So we're going for Dixon. A lot of 2nd-round picks here. Mr. Craig Dixon, a bunch of A's and some B's, and I was really worried that one of these times our normal dev was coming around because surely we're not going to finish the draft with like every draft pick being hidden. But you never know, I suppose. Kind of run out of picks, but haven't really dipped into next year, which is the scary part. So we trade Cody Whitehair, a 4th this, and a 5th next for 75, which is a massive trade for them. Center was their 2nd or 3rd highest position need. And obviously, whatever player we take here is going to replace Cody Whitehair. Not a bad player, obviously, but in general, just a bit old, 31 years old. So I'm really hoping Mr. Woodson is the fit. He obviously is a center type with that 6'3". Please? Yes, another hidden development trait player. I was really mad at myself because I was thinking at 10. I was like, do I just trade up, take Holland, stop messing around? And they took him right then and there. So I don't know what the other guy looked like, but could you imagine Holland was actually normal and I got saved by being stupid? All right, 34 or 94 this, 103 next for 80. I know there's going to be a lot of people crying about, he's trading around too much. Yeah, I know, but stop yelling, okay? Stop your crying. If the tight end's there at the 1st pick on the 4th, I'll grab the tight end, okay? So then we won't move around. But Devontae Tompkins, this could be our first non-hidden development trait player. Not that athletic. I definitely wanted Griffin more, but Griffin went first. And, I mean, the classic, wait until somebody goes. Saved us a lot of draft positions in the past. Please be hidden. Normal. I suppose as long as it wasn't the linemen that were normal, that's, I mean, you could live with it, right? 6'3", 21 years old, could be the future. Ooh. 82 speed, you say. Normal development trait, you say. All right, Rodgers was gone in the 6th, so I'm going to take Mr. Dennis Cooper, the speedster, who's somehow normal, or a hidden development trait, 97 speed. I don't even know what to tell you. I really don't. Obviously, for the wide receivers, it's not crazy to get hiddens late because it's going to be pretty much a star guaranteed. But, I mean, even that guy being hidden, these guys are like 95% of the time normal development trait. It won't matter because he's literally never going to start, but it's still just like, how is that possible? Call it a draft. Could have used a special teamer. I would imagine we ended up getting Fairburn, the kicker. No, that was actually the first guy we got, so not even imagine. It's 100%. This was a draft class based on hiddens. I don't know about the actual overalls, but let's find out. Did we land some talent? Oh, 79. Okay, so obviously I have to look at the corner first because he's a 79 overall. Why do they make these guys so obvious, though? Like, all 6'4" corners are going to be good in the game, especially since they all have speed. But you're also going to make him a 94 overall, or 79 overall? That's absurd. Of course, only star development trade as expected, but he's literally 79. He's almost our best corner already. Mr. Kendall Rashall, I want as our left end, most likely. Has some pretty good traits. He's a bit raw. Actually, no, he has 78 power move. I looked at the finesse. He's actually really good. But looking at the dev, is superstar development trade. I'll show you. I kind of had to look at something real quick, so kind of look like an edit point. But yeah, hidden development trade. I'm pretty sure once you change their dev, it does show up, if I'm not mistaken. But superstar development trade, we're number 94. We're gonna be moving gallery over to right end, and I don't know how people think, but I get people sometimes saying, I wish you didn't show the devs, wish they would just reveal themselves. I just think there's no point, because and I've said it in the past, if it's gonna be a position where there's a potential battle at, I won't, because then it influences it. But at the same time, it's just another superstar. At the same time, it's like, why does it matter? And B2, whatever you want to call it, so much easier to cheat. I could literally just at the end of the season change their dev to whatever the hell I want. It's like, oh look, they revealed themselves. They're an X Factor. Wow, 10 straight X Factors. Who would have thought? This guy looked pretty good. A little bit better than I would have thought, to be honest. He had Bs across the board, didn't he? Except for Blockshed. What was his dev? Star development trade. Can't get them all. But the first 2 draft picks, the linemen, the pass rushers, absolutely worth it. Do want to compare this wide receiver to the other guys, though. Very good short route, good spec, fast, huge. Not a bad pick at all. I don't know what his dev is. Probably star, but you never know. Star development trade. Going to have to release Claypool, because obviously he shouldn't be here. For him to be here still, he would have needed a contract. So there's that. And then the tackle Dixon, star development trade. Not shocking at all. We've definitely revamped the team quite a bit with youth and potential and all that stuff. Let's take a look at the dev for the guard, who is now our new centaur, Chad Woodson. Superstar center. Okay. And then Tompkins, normal development trait. What else do we have? Tight end, no. And then the wide receiver, we'll see. Dennis Cooper. And let's take a look at that dev, which is Superstar X Factor. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, that's quite the steal. Ooh, like I said, 72 to 75. Ooh, normal dev. Okay, that class was terrible. Hidden development trade. Okay, so we obviously got some steals, especially that slot receiver, which, I mean, I don't know what to do, because he's an X Factor. Should start him, to be honest, but start development trade wide receiver. I don't really have the spot. I honestly think that person maybe allows us to trade Mooney, though. Not even allows us, but forces us to, honestly. X Factor slot receiver, and Mooney's not really even playing that well, despite having him as the full-on number 1, pretty much. Number 1. Wow. 1 pick behind him, he was an X Factor. This draft class was bonkers. We took a star development trade, 74 overall, 1 pick after a superstar X Factor, 74 overall. I mean, it was still a great draft. Release Claypool, trade Mooney, start Townsend, and the youngster Cooper. I think that makes the most sense, no? I think I'm going to do that. All right, so Bears fans probably going to be mad at me now, but I may or may not have traded Darnell Mooney to the Chiefs for a second-round pick, which I suppose kind of needed a contract, and we kind of have a better version of him going forward. I'm sorry, but it just had to be done. We're in rebuild Madden mode now a little bit, drafting these 2 youngsters that are somehow better than Claypool and Mooney already, in a way. I don't know. It's ironic that I mentioned, I don't want to check the devs for players that may steal the starting job. I didn't know this guy was going to steal the starting job. I was just curious, just confirming that he was star dev, because these guys are 99.9% star dev. It's not my fault that he turned out to be a freaking X Factor. So we did cheat in a way, because we would have waited a year for him and probably ended up re-signing Mooney before ever noticing that this guy was an X Factor, but it happened. What can I do? We got a second-round pick from Mooney. I don't know what else to tell you. Okay, I don't know what else to tell you. This is what the team looks like. Starting Tompkins just because he has a higher ceiling than Sanborn, and Who knows if he wins Rookie of the Year or something like that. He's, decently high in the sub-linebacker category. Merrick, the guy that we, was kind of quote-unquote bulk of that trade. Not really, but one of the bigger pieces. Going to start over Eddie Jackson. Eddie Jackson is 86 overall, though, which is, you know what? He's not going to start over Eddie Jackson. Eddie Jackson's going to start over Merrick. And, actually, let's take a look at Eddie Jackson's contract. I don't care about him being superstar if he needs a contract, because I'm obviously not going to pay it. Okay, so he's here for 2 more years, but you can save some money, technically. So do I not just... I'm just going to start Merrick. I don't care. Davidson yet again. Well, maybe not yet again, but another breakout camp standout that is successful the first go-around. All right, he didn't get his camp standout, but he got a breakout, which is even better because he gets XP on top of it, whereas if it was just the standout, you would get nothing but the dev. We have a ton of money and not a whole lot of wins, I'll tell you that much. I almost forgot to do the re-signings in general. Jalen Johnson in real life, honestly don't know. In game, I suppose he's the number 1, so might as well. Cole Kmet. Actually, a good question. I thought it was going to be a clear cut because of the age and all that, but I kind of want to see how well he's playing before any of that happens. And the answer is pretty well, I suppose. He'll get the contract. Anyone else? Justin Jones went up in dev apparently, but I don't really care too much. We have so much money and no one to pay. It would be a crime not to pay Cole Kmet at this point. I don't know what to tell you. The team is better. Obviously, it is still pretty young and lower overall. Change the scheme and everything. 4-13. We might have had 3 straight first overall picks. Let's see if anyone beat us. Nobody beat. We had 3 straight first overall picks. Damn it. But trust me, I'm not purposely trying to lose. Last season, first season, hell, not a bad decision for the team to suck. This season, I don't really need that much anymore. So, unless I use that first overall pick to trade for an absolute goon guaranteed player, not really sure what I'm going to be able to do with that. Justin Fields played better, I think. I can't actually remember what last season was like. Yeah, definitely better. But overall, was he that great? I don't know. If this season has a really good quarterback, I might have to take him. Kareem Hunt was decent. Townsend should be a superstar. Cole Kmet was better than DJ Moore. And then Cooper, not bad. I had the Chiefs scheme on, and that's what happened. Tackles were awful. Tevin Jenkins was terrible. Davidson had 9 sacks at Week 11. He got 0 to finish the season. How is that possible? The edge, I suppose, is okay. Better than the first season, technically, as a duo. Kicker, Fairburn was awful. This was just a bad season for like 90% of the team. I don't understand. Any award wins, though? I mean, 9 sacks is still pretty good for a rookie, so maybe. Offensive and defensive rookie of the year, which is nice. Could be an X factor, that wide receiver, because maybe gets a dev up for how he played, and then the breakout. I don't even know, but hopefully that'd be kind of crazy. Have 2 X factors and DJ Moore. All right, it is the Panthers versus the Bengals. Maybe I should have stuck with the Bengals playbook. We were like 1-8 or something. I don't know. We were really bad, though, so I switched to the Chiefs. That didn't work out. The Panthers did win the Super Bowl. If we had a running back that could, like, fully, carry the load, I suppose Kareem Hunt's not bad. Oh, Lord, did he regress? Did he just drop an overall? Oh, my God. We just gave him a 4-year 32. Maybe even slightly more than that. I don't even know. But, of course, Townsend is a superstar, so we made the right call with the rookie. It's just, the season kind of sucks. Did we? Maybe not. I don't know. But let's take a look at the defensive side of things now. You should see some. And Eddie Jackson did not go up in dev, so it is definitely going to be Merrick's turn. Edmonds did, though. He's an X factor now. And then Davidson, obviously Rookie of the Year, wins himself a dev up to superstar. So, wait a minute. Oh, no. What am I even talking about? He had it, like, earlier in the season. I don't even know what I'm saying. Got it earlier in the season. I was like, what? The hell was that about? But Edmonds definitely got a dev up, and he's cooking up. I'm really hoping that he gets the scheme fit to Field General, because... yes, Field General is busted for upgrades for linebackers, so look at that. I mean, 2-to-man, 2-to-zone. I mean, that's busted. Yo. A 2-to-speed. He's 95 speed at 6'4" now. Where were these upgrades for our franchises? Like, where? I'm going to go with another slot. I was going to go deep threat, but why would I when we just got a +2 to speed? Pretty damn good upgrade there, too. Slot is busted for corner and wide receiver. I mean, look at that. A +2 to speed. Like, that's insane, especially at 6'4". It's crazy. I don't know what pick we got off of the trade we made in the first round. Who was it again? The Raiders, I believe. Let's take a look. Let's see what our draft picks are. We obviously have number 1. Number 1 and 9. Number 33, 35, and 41. Obviously bet on the Chiefs wasn't we knew it was going to be a bad pick, but, you know, Darnell Mooney was kind of mid-level. He's 3 overall, wasn't great. But we have all the draft picks in the world that we need to grab a quarterback if we want. Obviously, we can take him pick 1 overall, but obviously, if there's not a great one, I will not do that, as I suppose Fields was decent. Wasn't great, but he was decent. He's 25 now. He's an 80 overall. He's pretty accurate. It's just, we're not winning. And, I mean, it's kind of has to start with a quarterback, no? Resignings are not necessary, so we are headed right on to free agency. What do you draft, right? Like, what do you grab in free agency? What do you draft? Like, is it quarterback 1 overall? I don't even know. Wirfs would be great, but he's not, I would say he's not necessary, but to be fair, Tua's in there, but that just wouldn't make any sense. To be fair, didn't get a great season out of the pass rush or the especially the tackle. Do you maybe grab Wirfs? Playing left tackle, the Buccaneers probably wouldn't let him go, but I mean, he is here, so I would just assume that they couldn't afford him. You also don't want him to go to the division rival Lions, so that's also a factor. A 5-year 145 is quite a bit of money, but I'm going to leave it on there. He is, actually, let's see how he played, because once again, I don't know how this position works, because tackles suck no matter what. Gave up 11 in the first year, but 5 last season, which is obviously a lot better. Is it based on overall? Is it based on how good they actually play? I don't know. So I'm just going to put the offer on. 5-year 145. If he chooses us, great. If he doesn't choose us, what can I do? And as far as DTs, there's really not many. Obviously, Ed Oliver got paid in real life, and we don't really need Jordan Brooks. However, his contract is pretty cheap. I mean, it's not cheap. A 3-year, 30. But I'd maybe be willing. I don't know. There's just nobody here, really, other than the tackle, honestly. Like, we will run out of money sooner or later if we keep spending. So do you really want to pay Brooks when you have a guy that's kind of working? Like, look at that zone coverage, Our guy's not much worse already. He's just a lower overall. Try to pay Wirfs. Didn't get it. Try to pay Jonah Williams. Didn't get it. We're rolling with what we got. Justin Fields. 5th-year option, I suppose. Still not 100% sold on him. And the draft picks, the quarterbacks suck again. So there's really not much to do when it comes to that. There is, however, a player that I can't confirm, but I would assume is a generational player. So that is maybe who we take at 1 overall. And some of you may be very proud of me because this generational looking player is 23 years old. So me taking a 23-year-old is absurd, but I have to assume he's generational. He's 6'4". He has a 4.5 140, elite speed, elite excel, and then you look at the traits in the back: A finesse, A hip power, A pursuit, A awareness, A play rec, B power move, B block shed. If he's not generational, this is a mad L, but I think he is, and I will be taking him. Hidden development trait, that's a great start. 88 speed, 92 excel at 6'4", 241. It's promising. I mean, we'll have to find out, but he is definitely promising. And even though we don't need edge, there's not really much I need in general, so I guess it was just taking him. This is what the quarterback room looked like. It just looked so similar to the guy that the Raiders took, who was absolutely not good. Another good throw power as well, I think, even had. It's just not good. This guy scouted a little bit further. He has a little more promise. He's 21. He's great throw power. I might take him just because we don't really have that much we really need. At this point, I might even take a running back in the late first. This guy looks all right. It's just, I don't have a whole lot I need, and I mean, he looks okay, but I don't know. Do I grab him? Do I not? A juke move, a little bit of trucking, stiff arm. Running back's not hard to grab, but ones that are, hidden development trait kind of are. So I don't know who to take. I didn't get to scout the rest of these guys. We could technically still need a DT, but I think what is for sure is that we have to trade down at 9. There's some really good offers I'm getting for pick 9, but all the teams I need to trade with are the division rivals. I want a tackle that is proven. Packers and the Vikings giving me options there, but just not quite what I'm looking for because they're on. I mean, look at this, dude. But they're, on teams that I can't trade with, so I need a lineman that is proven, and I need it now. So it's a little costly, but we're going to give up 9 and 61 for Colton Miller and another first round from the Raiders next year. They are getting pick 9, which is really good, and we are getting a tackle, which is really good. At 9, they take a new left tackle. We're going to bet against the Green Bay Packers here by giving up giving up this first pick in the second round for a second and third next year. Let's see what they take. It is a linebacker I don't care about. And then pick 3. We have so many draft picks. I might have to go for another next year trade if there is one, which sadly there is not. I guess I'll go with the Colts, get a late second this year. It's just like we drafted so much better than I thought we were going to. Like, we killed it. This might be one of the best setting drafts, especially if this is a generational outside linebacker that we took, that we've had in a long time in a rebuild. Like, we don't have these types of drafts that often. We have good drafts, but we don't have these types of drafts. Pick 9 is too high. Let's grab the safety. We don't even need a safety, but, like, might as well. And I mean, a hidden development trait player. We're going to end up getting rid of Eddie Jackson anyways. Maybe trade him off for, like, a 6th-round pick or something. We got a new Jackson in town. And at this pick, I suppose it's not too early to take, different players like the quarterback. So I guess Easton Callaway, who looked like he had a little bit of potential, will be our guy. He's 21 years old, so, I mean, he's young at least if he is normal, which he is, sadly, kind of expected. But, I mean, he had potential. It looked like he was, like, the second best guy in the class. Took him, didn't work out. What can you do? We also have no draft picks out of the third round, but we also have no one to draft. So maybe we trade up, but I think with this pick, I will be taking the DT Luke Jordan. And he's 6'2", 21, little undersized, but A if an SB block shed can't go wrong, and he's hidden. We trade a 3rd and a 5th next year to the Titans for 97, while they automatically gain 5 spots with the 5th round, but obviously it's unlikely that we do have a draft pick that is that good, or that bad, if you will, a team that's that good. Interesting player. I was kind of just looking at him. But this pick is going to be the bad run-blocking left guard, Matt Jefferson. 22 years old, 6'5". Looks good. It's just really bad at run block. And we do land a hit, and I would love to see what his run block is, because F, but there's so many other A's that it's just like you kind of have to. But let's find out if that guy actually was a generational or not. 23, so if he's not, that is a mad L. That is such a freaking bad decision. But he looked pretty good. I'd guess it. Oh, he was. This, I think, might be the highest overall player I've drafted this Madden. 90 finesse, 88 speed, 92 acceleration. He is a freak. Block shed's a little low, but yeah, I'm going to guess 84 overall is generational. I'm going to guess. Superstar X Factor. I don't know who the hell you replace. I really don't, but we got ourselves a free safety. He's a 75 overall. A quarterback was 70. I don't think he's going to be anything for us, especially with, yet again, multiple draft picks in the first round next season. If we need a quarterback, we could easily just trade up for whoever the hell we want. Zach Jackson, superstar development trade. Okay, I don't know if he'll ever start either, but if there was ever a time to get rid of Eddie Jackson, it's now. Callaway, not actually bad, just, once again, normal development trade. Even has ideal sense of pressure. Absolutely usable in a user league. Luke Jordan, I don't plan on starting him, so I don't want to look at his dev. 82 finesse, though. Maybe I will start him. That is pretty good. And then, of course, the left guard, who is hidden development trade. Really bad run block. He's actually not terrible at it. It's just his physical run block rating is terrible. But we've seen, way worse run blockers than that. Dev is star, but more depth, I suppose. And was there anyone I missed? I guess I wanted to take a look at the running back. I missed out on 2 running backs. My running back was named... What the hell was his name, actually? Griffith. 79 overall. Oh, my. Is he a generational? 93 juke move, 93 change of direction. Don't tell me I had my lock on 2 generational players in the first round. Okay, he is only star, but he's insane. And then I had that running back in the 4th round. Well, technically 5th round. Which round was it? Oh, yeah, it was Crocker, 32. Oh, 70 overall. Never mind. Although hidden. Once again, those running back ratings can be misleading, and this one I think is classified under that because he looks way better than whatever overall star dev. But yeah, not as bad as missing out on Griffith. We would have been set. We would have literally needed nothing. But now we're still kind of looking at running back, still kind of looking at quarterback, but we would have literally needed nothing. I know he's a high overall, but I'm talking about real life. Eddie Jackson for a 6th-round pick from the Texans. Real life-wise, that's kind of his value, right? Like Jalen Ramsey went for like chewing gum or something. All right, it's year 3 of the Justin Fields project, and the team, there's no excuses. Like, there just isn't. The offensive line is amazing. The receivers are amazing. The running back's solid. Fields, not bad, obviously, but it's on him. It really is. I mean, the team is good. Our D-line is great. Our corners are solid. Our safeties are solid. The linebacking group's one of the best in the league. It's a team that should easily be 500, not number 1 overall pick. All right, the season has turned around, but it's still not very good. We have DJ Moore to pay, Edwards if we choose to, Merrick, which we will choose to, Tevin Jenkins, which we will choose to, Nate Davis, which we choose to. So we have basically unlimited money. Like I said, better, but not good enough for the playoffs, I imagine. And it was probably pretty close, actually, 8-9. We were really bad at changing the scheme to Atlanta, and it seemed to turn things around, but a little too late at that time. I think it was like 2-8, maybe, at the time I changed it. I don't know, but we changed it. We started winning games, but not enough. And for the 3rd straight year in a row, we will have no playoffs and another top 5, top 10 pick. Maybe not from ourselves, though. Fields, he's gone. I have to replace him. I have no choice. Hopefully, at least, I guess, because the quarterbacks suck. I can't really do much about that. Blocking was better. I mean, it's kind of just him. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Sack totals, 11 for Davidson, which is amazing. Wall, 10 as a rookie. 8 for Rochelle. And then interceptions. Some, interceptions here and there. Fairburn was a lot better than last year, and then McDowell was terrible. Kick return, punt return game, we almost never see kick returns, so even if we did, who cares? MVP goes to Patrick Mahomes, constant reminder. Any award wins? No for offense, yes for defense. The generational wins Rookie of the Year, who would have thought? And that is basically it for the season. Headed on to, the offseason, headed for year 4 without a playoff berth. Chiefs versus Panthers, and the winner of this one is the Chiefs. Once again, constant reminder. Offense, no dev ups. Not really shocked, though. And then defense, 1 dev up, Mr. Johnson. I don't think it was anyone else, right, to my knowledge. Might even trade off Gallery because we just don't need him, and he's really good. But he's being wasted by us because we just don't have a starting spot for him. He's worth a 1st-round pick easily, so I don't know what our draft picks are looking like, but if we have to get to number 1 for a quarterback and that team doesn't need QB, which is pretty rare, we can do it easily. We have all the draft picks in the world, and obviously that edge rusher, pick 13, and then the Raiders were actually good at 30. We need a QB, and this is our worst draft pick set yet, sadly. We were also unable to get the re-signings done. For some reason, Trayvon Merrick said, I do not want to join you. 17 mil is a lot, so I'm going to try to re-sign him in free agency. If it doesn't happen, we'll find someone else. TJ Edwards definitely asked for a lot less than he was before. It was a 3-year 38, now dropped down to a 2-year 15, but I can do better. And then Tevin Jenkins, last chance, 3-year 34.5, and he joins back, thankfully. 111 mil or 110 mil with a couple of players to re-sign or get new positions anyways. But overall, once again, unlimited money pretty much. It's just like we're rich as hell. Free agents, Kyle Pitts. I don't expect that to be a guy that would be available in real life, but hey, it'd be pretty cool. Simmons, no, even though I would like to have him. It's just a lot of these players aren't players that are going to be free agents. Running backs I'll allow, but as far as there's, that's a lot of money for Joke, though. I can't pay 20 mil per for a coverage linebacker. That's too much, I think. But yeah, as far as running backs go, definitely able to do that. So safety, of course, Simmons is there, actually. So we do have an option, but Trayvon Merrick is who I obviously want back wholeheartedly. I did not want to pay 17 mil on the dot. I'd be willing to do a 4-year 40, which is not much worse than, we could just basically pay that. If we don't get him there, that would be shocking. Totally worth it if that ends up happening. Don't need corners. Need linebackers, but I don't think I could pay Joke. That is a lot of money, dude. That money is no joke. Baker is an option. Could just draft someone new, but it's just I want less excuses for these players, this quarterback, and that we're about to hopefully draft. And that seems like a perfect excuse for me, is getting the team worse than they were before. We ended up signing Najee Harris to a 4-year 36. We know what the running back market looks like right now, and players are just getting scammed. They're just not, this is not a bad contract, but they're just not getting re-signs a lot. and they're getting released when they still have a lot left in the tank. Trayvon Merrick, a 4-year 40, which was more than I would have wanted to sign him since he wanted a 3-year 22 at the time of re-signing, but we got him back. That's all that matters. And I tried to get Joke on a cheaper deal, 6-year 90, but he didn't take it. So realistically, I mean, it's just, I don't know what to do. I'm going to try to edit it like this and see if he's more interested in this. Slightly. We've seen it where teams have gotten the player by being under the other one. I highly doubt that'll work for us, though. And he's just not signing. And he did not join us, obviously. But we need a linebacker and a quarterback. And outside of that, we are set. And I did not intend the Ravens to have the number 1 overall pick. I'm not sure how they got it. But let me tell you, I'm glad they got it because we can trade with them because they don't need QB. There is a quarterback that looks pretty good. Is he worth the first overall pick? Only time will tell, but I think he's definitely better than the other quarterbacks we've seen over the years. I actually didn't pay attention to last season's best quarterback, but, I don't know what this is going to cost, so I'm just going to offer this, which they took. Let's see if that was fair, which it probably wasn't. Oh, it was not fair at all. They could take my edge rusher, though. You want him? Because it says they need a left end. I do not want the first. I'm just automatically used to trading for first-round picks that I just, almost took it off them. Well, he's not quite a left end, but superstar development trade 80 overall is quite the package. I think we might need to trade them something else as well. What do we have? This. Is that fair? I don't know. We probably got more than we, just traded when we got rid of the first overall pick. But there are 2 or 3 quarterbacks in fairness this time, whereas the other one, it was literally the one guy or you're screwed. I'll show you guys the 3 quarterbacks. One of them's 23, so obviously not in my book. But number 1, you can obviously tell, is Stockton, and then Ham is my second on the list. But this would have been the third, technically. It might be good, especially since the game does seem to give you, good dev older players, whereas our guy might not be good dev because he's younger. I can't remember if he was 21 or 22, but obviously of the 3 does look the best, and he is 21 on top of it. We've got ourselves a new quarterback, Brian Stockton, number 1 overall, hidden development trait, 94 throw power, QB1, trading Fields now. We trade Justin Fields to the Steelers for 24 and 88, which will give us back into this first round. And, I don't really even know what I have at this point, but, we at least get back in the first round. Totally fair, as Justin Fields obviously is still a good quarterback. He's just not working out for us. We're just not utilizing him right. I don't know what it is, but he's probably going to be a god for the Steelers, who is now starting there. We have seen Kenny Pickett do well in the past in Sim. Not today, and I totally forgot about this tight end. Even though we don't technically need him because Cole Kmet is him. Once again, we needed a linebacker and a quarterback. And I'm going to get our linebacker in the 3rd-ish round, I think. Actually, maybe not. Heath Smith might be the guy I take next. But the tight end looks good. We could use a backup. I'm going to take Mr. J. Jones, not Zay Jones. 6'3", but very elite speed. Normal development trait, but you could kind of see why I took him, right? Yeah, not a great pick at the tight end, but at least we got depth now at the tight end spot. The previous tight end that we had will probably need a contract very shortly, so didn't want to go that route. Heath Smith, potentially our new starting linebacker, A tackle, B zone, B block shed, 21 years old, elite speed, very fast in general, gotta be our guy. Is hidden, slower than I would have thought, though, and as far as the user league goes, you'd be pretty mad at that jumping and change of direction, but, as far as a rebuild goes, he's the starter, so we now move on to the 3rd round with pick 13, see if we can grab a potential lineman, I think would be what I'm looking for here. We don't need linemen, we don't need anything at this point, but just going to try to keep getting younger anywhere I can, and our boy Clayton Brayton, interesting, fun name, I guess, is going to be the guy. A bunch of A's. C, run block in fairness. Hidden development trait. Landing the hiddens where it matters, right? Tight end sucks to not have hidden, but you can develop it. It's definitely possible now, whereas O-line, sure, it's possible, but it's very unrealistic. And you know what? I have no one else. I'm going to take the other linebacker. I don't think it's going to matter because they're both good, but let's see. Hidden development trait, way more athletic. I love doing that to myself. The Buccaneers are giving us a pretty good trade. A 3rd and a 4th for a pretty late 3rd. Mr. Johnny B. Good. He's pretty athletic. And not great, but athletic enough. And he's hidden development traits. 90 speed, 94 excel. I kind of want to see what McKee is after the draft now because we're landing some really unexpected, hiddens. And I guess, I mean, it's possible, but that is rare. Like, that X Factor wide receiver we took is rare to get hidden, but a hidden corner this late is like a whole nother stratosphere of rare. And even though we don't need wide receivers, I'm just going to keep taking them because they're just there every time. 97 speed yet again. Here we go. How do we do? 76 overall. Okay, the tight end's okay, but obviously normal dev. Hit development rate, 94 throw power. Ooh, pretty accurate, actually. Just enough speed, average sense of pressure. I kind of want to compare him to the guy we could have had, a Ham, which obviously we could have probably waited on, but, you know, oh my, the only number we have 14. Superstar dev, though. That's a win. All right, that's fine. Tight end is very athletic, but he is short as well. 6'3" for a tight end is basically a wide receiver. Run block's decent, I suppose. He's pretty raw, but that speed is pretty insane. And then Heath Smith, speaking of speed that is insane, very good block shed, but his zone coverage sucks, so there's a good chance that the middle linebacker we took after him is actually the starter because he'll be a little more balanced, I think. And he, 70 block shed, 67 man coverage, or zone coverage is... So with that being said, we will take a look at the dev because we're going to start this guy, it seems, so doesn't really matter what the other guy's dev is unless he's better than Star. But even then, I'm going to start this guy. I'm committed. So we'll find out what his dev is. I guess 40, why not? Start development trade. Okay, so he can be beaten, obviously. Let's take a look at Mr. Smith, who we took a full round ahead, but I guess we wanted to solve that position, make sure it was set in stone, and, I mean, it definitely is now with 2-star development trait linebackers, wearing number 1. Took Fields' number immediately. Other players don't really matter, but this guy, because he is kind of an unexpected hit, and I will take a look at. If this guy's X Factor, that would be absolutely bonkers. The wide receiver, fair enough, I've seen it. The corner this late, never seen it. Yeah, start development trait, kind of expected, but still a good pick, and I suppose we shall take a look at the other quarterback who, oh, there's 2 quarterbacks that went kind of high. The Texans, who took a normal... Bro, you can't make the 23-year-old normal. That should be illegal. The Jets taking a different quarterback, Ham hidden. This is the guy that we were going to take, kind of a poor man's version of us, but maybe higher dev. We'll find out. I highly doubt it, but maybe he's like equal or something. And no, so we took the right guy. Trading him up to pick 1 was absolutely worth it. The Ravens ended up doing pretty well for themselves anyways. They took a tight end themselves. Hidden development trait, but nowhere near as fast. Obviously, I'd rather have our guy, even if this guy's an X Factor. Maybe not in rebuild round, but when you're actually playing on the franchise, obviously. But yeah, in rebuild round, this guy's obviously better, but 88 speed tight end, no matter how small or tall he is definitely a bigger dub than that. Kyler Gordon really just never got a chance to start, so we're going to be trading him to the Broncos for Nick Benito. We need the edge depth, and Kyler Gordon's going to need a contract that I will not be paying. All right, the year 4 team. Justin Fields is gone, and the new guy, Stockton, is in. Receivers look great, and we're hoping this is a season where we actually make the playoffs, even though it is a rookie year for him. Wall being a 90 overall after year 1 is quite something. I probably should have went with block shed, because after he gets the 99 finesse, if he's not already there, he's going to probably go to power move, which we kind of want block shed, but it is what it is. The team looks great, and sure, we're starting a couple of youngsters that are lower overall still, but as far as like a turnaround team goes, this is one of the highest turnarounds we've ever had because we've had one of the best set of drafts we've ever had. Like, there's just talent across the board on this team, and they're all young. I actually don't know what is like physically wrong with this game. Like, it's another bad season, despite the fact that even the rookie quarterback is playing well. The team, yeah, God, I love this. Even though the team is like, I don't know how I can make the team any better. I actually don't know how. I don't know if it's actually physically possible. Colton Miller needs a contract after trading for him. 3 or 6E, fair enough. He's good. Brisker, it's a little costly. And for whatever reason, he does end up not having zone coverage upgrades like ever. But let's take a look. Yeah, 82 zone. Maybe get a new strong safety, to be honest. Stevenson is a good number 3, so we'll pay him the 4-year, I don't know, freaking $18 million deal. Why not? We obviously have to pay Edmonds, but we should be able to get that done. Everyone else, a lot of backups, so no one necessary, but we'll see what we want to do to keep some of these players because we have extra money. So I was able to save the season a little bit, but it's still not going to be good enough for the playoffs as we finish 7-10. Once again, I don't know what to tell you about the sim in this game. It's just really bad. I honestly do think that it is predeterminedly based on how you, what team you choose. The Bears, not expected to do well in real life, so they're like, hey, if it's a 50-50 between a really good team like the Chiefs or the Bears, even if the teams are the similar, style, similar rating, it's going to go to that other team every time, because I never see the Bears win a Super Bowl in Sim. Never. Ever. Of course, Stockton wasn't great in fairness, 22 interceptions, but, the team is perfect. I don't know what else I could do. Honestly, at this point, it's just I'm going to do one more season, win or lose, that's the rebuild. I don't remember what happened. Look at the edge is even good. I don't remember what happened in my latest Bears rebuild, if it was successful or not, but, I don't know what else I can do at this point. We've done perfectly. There has been zero bad decisions. The only bad decision you can make is when we took Townsend over the Wilburn, but we still ended up with an X-Factor wide receiver that draft anyways. Rookie of the year, even though we probably didn't deserve it. I mean, is he an X-Factor? I don't know. Who cares? But last season, no matter what, can we even make the playoffs, let alone the Super Bowl? Who knows? The Chiefs versus the Panthers in the Super Bowl. We've seen the Panthers already once before. Did they lose? I can't remember, but they've got a Super Bowl now. What are the chances, though, that the Panthers were that bad to start? I guess it actually makes sense because they are kind of in a mini rebuild, if you will. Their roster, though, when I seen them trade up for that pick 1, I was like, really? Why would they trade up? And I was like, you know what? That roster, it's not great, but there's a couple of pieces. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. They've got potential. But, didn't do well for a season. We got picked 7, 9, one of the two off of them. And then, obviously, now they might have won 2 Super Bowls. I can't remember, but they've definitely been to the Super Bowl twice, and they just won that one. We have a really good receiving group, pretty damn good offensive line. This team is insane. I honestly don't even know how it's only an 89 overall in general. DevOps, Merrick goes up in Dev, which is clutch. Was this guy always Superstar? I think he may have actually been Superstar, right? I mean, I don't know either way, but Merrick, Superstar Development Trait, which is actually pretty damn clutch. We paid him a 4-year 40, really good zone coverage, but we will be moving on for the strong safety. Didn't even really, for some reason, think about the fact that the free safety we currently have could play that role, or Merrick goes back over there, one of the two. But yeah, for sure going to let Brisker go, even though he's a good overall. He's not that great of a player. 81, 82 zone. I mean, that's literally lower than Jackson here, which is just ridiculous. And then Davidson has been very solid ever since coming in here as a rookie, who is now an X-Factor. I suppose Jordan will continue to be the number 2, but if we find a better option, maybe we pay him, just because we haven't been in the playoffs, and even though we don't really need to grab a developed player that's really good right now, I just want to see this team succeed, so I need to do something. And right now, the best bet, great strong safety, unless we stick with Jackson because there's no options. Great DT2, and then that's it. I don't know what I can do. Do I have to cheat, change all the contracts of these really good players, trade for them all? I actually don't know. I'm just going with the flow. EA is a hoe. I've tried many schemes as well. I have tried the Chiefs with their actual scheme, with West Coast spread. I've tried the Chiefs with vertical zone run. I've tried the Bengals with vertical zone run. I've tried the Bengals with multiple zone run. I've tried the Atlanta Falcons with vertical zone run. I've tried the Packers with vertical zone run. I've tried all the best playbooks I can find, and none of them have worked. None of them. I don't know. I'm just going to try my best with the scheme that works right away, and I'm just going to keep changing them at a 4-week interval, depending on win-loss. If we're winning at least 50% of the games, I'm going to keep it. If we're losing, less, we're winning less than that, I'll change it. As far as free agency goes, DeForest Buckner is actually maybe the perfect man for the job here, so I will be offering him whatever I can to get him here. So a 1-year, $20 million deal seems to be the case, even though for some reason that's not enough, I guess. How is that not enough? Do I have to pay? I guess maybe it's because it's a 1-year deal. I'll pay him a 1-year 25. I mean, at this point, I'm desperate, and even though he's probably not even nearly as good as overall suggests, I mean, it's one of the biggest positional needs we have, so please tell me that's enough. Puts him in the green. I mean, if that's not enough, I don't know what to tell you. Strong safety, Brisker, can't really do it. Petrie, maybe? I mean, they're both kind of like the same player. Petrie's actually a superstar, though. Similar zone. I really don't think they're better than who we have. I mean, I want to look for a backup at least. Sidney Brown could be that backup, just to have some depth, but ooh, Dax Hill. But he's not even a safety. No zone coverage at all. What is going on here? JT Woods is not bad, but he's a backup. I'll grab anyone I can. Yeah, we're not going to find a starter in this group, sadly, but we should be able to get a backup, hopefully. That should be good. I mean, everything else is great, so I think that is where we... What about linebacker, I guess? We don't really need one, but I guess if there's an option. Quay Walker was there. Leonard Leonard Floyd. Devin Lloyd was there, which is not quite the same. And once again, their man zone and block shed is not much better than anyone we've got. So we're going to rock the 2 we got. Hope we get them, specifically Buckner, and call it a free agency. There we go. I don't know what else to do, so pick 7 for Hufanga and a pick 40. I mean, this team is literally perfect. We're basically set. This guy sucks, by the way. Dixon's obviously worth at least a third. He's an 80 overall, 24-year-old star lineman. He's by far better than anything they're going to get in the third round. I guess pick 8 in the second round is going to be Adrian Morrison, the linebacker, who is pretty athletic. I mean, we're just killing the draft, and I don't really have much to draft. I suppose I'll trade to the next round to try to get some more linemen. That's probably one of the bigger problems going forward that we'll have. Any late picks? No? Anything like that? Anyone want to help a guy? Oh, give me that. Titans give me a first round next year. We will absolutely take that. Move to the next round. One of the linemen I wanted was Mower. I think Mower looks like Mower either way. Looks really solid. Hidden development trade. He looks really good, though. I mean, the speed, the strength, the size. He's quite solid. And now we're going to be taking a running back, Alex Washington, who looks pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. Obviously, the 40 and all that doesn't look great, but when you look at the left side, good speed, great acceleration, elite jumping, that adds up. And I'm going to take the chance on him as we're going to need a replacement at running back. Is normal. A lot of these guys are, but 84 strength with that speed and excel is kind of crazy. And then I guess we'll take this strong left guard, Raymond, another hidden development trade. This is, I would say, probably the best drafting we've done in any rebuild yet. It is probably one of the most unsuccessful rebuilds we've had, which just, I don't know, dude. It's all over the place. It's nothing I can control, and we're just rolling with the punches, even though the punches constantly are coming, and boom, boom, right to the cheeks. Which ones? Who knows? Decently speedy B finesse right end. Why not? Brittenham, normal development trait. Not speedy, actually. 80 speed, which is really bad. And then I guess if the linebackers there at 17, I'll take them. But once again, it's just more players that we don't really need. And we're just grabbing them because what else can we do other than just push them forward? And here it is. B zone coverage. Obviously athletic as usual. Josh Stockton. And it's just too easy. It's crazy because early on I struggled so hard with the draft. I was like, oh, this is kind of tough. And now it's just like impossible not to do well. So a lot of trade downs, not that it really matters because we're not going to play another season, but just nobody that was going to really, influence the team and all. But this is what the squad looks like. 73 overall linebacker. Running back's actually 77, which is nice. 74 for the center, 74 for the guard, and sucks. Linebacker's all right. But that running back I am curious about. Let's take a look at his ratings. Very balanced across the board. Carrying him 93 is ridiculous. Obviously not very good at receiving the ball, but 91 speed, 92 excel with 84 strength. He's really, really solid. And he will be the number 3, but number 2 next. Here's the roster. There's nothing more I can do. I'm just going to send it, and that's about it. There's a 6 squad, and I can't really do much more. Better than most seasons, but still not great. Buckner's gone. Hayward's a re-sign. Davidson's an obvious re-sign. Townsend's an obvious re-sign. Wright is a likely re-sign. Cooper is an obvious re-sign. Woodson's an obvious re-sign. Thompson, because of the price, is a re-sign. And the rest are backups, and we'll still have a lot of money left. And we were at 8-3 before I started simming to the playoffs, so this should likely be the first playoff berth and only playoff berth that we'll have in this rebuild. If we don't make the playoffs somehow magically, I don't even know. I don't know what to tell you, but we're hopefully finally in. Maybe we even got a bye week. Could you imagine the first playoff berth we get is a Super Bowl win? Could you imagine? It's possible. This team should be easily competing every single season. And we get a bye week at 12-5, surprisingly. Quarterback had the most yards in the league, maybe even most touchdowns, as he was highest on the 3 that we've seen for touchdowns as well. I'm sure you guys have been in cheek, because at this rate, damn near thought about it. Let me tell you. A couple of win-loss situations, but overall did make the playoffs and got the bye week, which is nice, so we get to skip the wild card round. Let's take a look at the team we have built for ourselves. Take a look at what the season brought us. Stockton, pretty solid, but those interceptions still high, but overall it's fine. Najee Harris, good, but not great. DJ Moore was amazing. Cooper was amazing. Townsend was amazing. Cole Kmet was solid. Offensive line, Cole Miller, the 90-plus overall, giving up 21 sacks. Perfect, flawless game, obviously. Sack totals, the edge was great again, and DTs were solid. Interceptions are kind of low. Will Lutz, really good, missing only 2 out of 22. McDowell, better than last year. Kick return, punt return game. No touchdowns like we, said millions of times before. MVP goes to Jalen Hurts. Where was our guy? Number 10 because of those interceptions, which is brutal, but that's how it works. Any award wins at all? The answer is no. But a bye week in the playoffs. Finally in the damn postseason. Stuck with, first of many, I'm sure of it, especially since the Panthers are about to beat us with their 94 overall team. But yeah, let's get in this. Stuck with the Bengals multiple zone run scheme. Let's find out if we can beat the juggernauts that are the Panthers. Here we go. 0-0. They're going to drive down with a massive touchdown. I mean, that was the longest drive I've seen in some time. It was like probably 15-plus plays. 3-7. The defense is holding up, but the offense is doing nothing. 7-6. Fourth quarter is now 14-all. Starting to wake up a little bit, both teams. 21-14, and it might have been an ugly game, but beating the Panthers, who've been in the Super Bowl like 50+% of the time in this rebuild, is no easy task. Stockton playing pretty well. Where is the math on this? What? Was it because of the attempt? Yeah, the average yards. Our guy didn't have like a big long throw, but he was better overall. It was so confusing at first. Townsend was amazing, though. Sack totals, Burns was great, but Wall was also pretty good. D-line in general, not bad. Kicking was perfect. I mean, we did enough to win. It was an ugly game, but like I said, that is a really tough team. 94 overall. AI team. How the hell are they a 94 overall if we're a 92 as a user team that has made 0 mistakes? We have made 0 mistakes, yet we're a lower overall than them. Even though both teams start off pretty similar, I'd imagine. Either way, it doesn't matter. We got to the championship round, beating a Panthers team that did win the wildcard round to get there, and have already won 1, maybe 2 Super Bowls. This could be our run going against the Panthers now. 92 overall to their 87 overall. I'm just glad to be in the playoffs and also winning games in the playoffs. All right, going to the end of the game. Come on. Falcons up 7. Already scoring more than both teams scored last game in the first freaking half. And that was only the first quarter. 7-10, 14-10. We're down by 4 now in a halftime. Up by 3. Come on. Get a playoff berth, a Super Bowl berth here. 24-21. I don't know why that would mean a Super Bowl berth, but up by 6. And we're going to hold on. The defense has been pretty good. The defense has been pretty solid. Got to give it to them. Numbers, this one a little bit less, but once again, not throwing interceptions, which is good. Najee Harris was decent. John Mechie, the starting wide receiver for them, apparently. Sack totals very low for both sides. No interceptions, like we said, and then kicking perfect again. I mean, a clean game, kind of boring and, kind of sad from our offense in the second half, but once again, like that Panthers game, did enough to win. But I will say the team actually is taking a bit of a hit as we're a little broke now. We're actually about to lose Darnell Wright because he's he's asking for over 10 mil and we only have 17 mil left, trying to save as much as I can. But it's still a good team. It's just, money's catching up a little bit. Definitely catching up a little bit. And that's without even paying the edge rushers. We actually might be in super trouble paying all these receivers. But this is what the team looks like for the Super Bowl. Dev up for DJ Moore. Dev up for anyone? Oh, Rashal got a dev up. So a full X-Factor D-line, which just looks freaking filthy. Obviously, Buckner's gone anyways, but for now, it's still filthy. Really good team. It does deserve to win a Super Bowl. Kind of crazy that it would be all in one season here and coming from no playoffs to playoffs and then the Super Bowl, but very much so possible. Going to the end of the game, 0 points for them, 7 for us, 7 for them. Driving down, they miss out. Up by 7, 21-7, 21-14. Drive but no score. It's a close game. Defense is holding out, but offense is doing nothing. In the meantime, 21-all, down by 7. Bro, this is the biggest choke, almost ever. I know it's not a huge, they came, I'm not even going to play. I want to play just to, throw a ball, but as far as, trying to win the game for them, 0 chance. They just choked way too hard. The game's over. But as far as, getting to actually play as the team, kind of, want to throw a ball in there. Townsend, that is a nice throw you got there, buddy. That is all I needed to see. Let's sim to the loss of the Super Bowl against the Colts where we scored just nothing in the second half. We just did nothing again for the 45th time in a row. Anthony Richardson is a Super Bowl champion. Where do you see the box score stuff? Scoring summary. 21 unanswered in the fourth quarter. 0 points in the second half. Against the Colts, ironically enough. Not quite as bad as that, Super Bowl against Peyton Manning, but 0 points in the second half. Once again, starting off strong, finishing horribly. 21 unanswered in the fourth. That actually is probably the biggest choke. Nah, it's not the Falcons. Damn you, Falcons. Always locking that choke down. Still a really bad choke, though, especially in a rebuild sense. Richardson killed it. Stockton was decent, but we just didn't score. Najee was a waste of time. Luke Musgrave is a Colt. Sack totals, we just give up 1 billion. I don't know what it is about this team. You know what? You look at the numbers of sacks that the teams have had against us outside of last game, the game before the Colts game, and you look at how good our offensive line is. That is more coding, in my opinion. I think that's, real-life Bears. The whole thing is, no blocking, no O-line, no receivers. That O-line playing bad in sim despite being really freaking good. I don't know, dude. I'm just thinking it's a predisposed, you're the Bears, you expect to suck situation. Darnell Wright, obviously a super power blocker, but no finesse. That's the way the whole league is for players because, EA has decided that instead of balancing out the upgrades, they're just going to give it to the highest archetype because why the hell not? Tevin Jenkins, the 70 or 86 overall, really bad finesse blocking, mainly pass blocking guard. We'll take a look at the center, I guess. Why not? I just paid him like a 5-year 70, something ridiculous. Really good pass blocker, sucks at run blocking. It's really disgusting to see, but once again, it would take me like 10 hours to do every single rebuild if I manually upgraded everyone. Can't do it. Brian Stockton, pretty solid actually. Medium route's a little iffy, but really good stuff. Kind of iffy throughout this rebuild. I know he did have the number 1 yards, number 2 touchdowns, but a lot of interceptions in those first 2 seasons. DJ Moore is obviously amazing. We'll take a look at Townsend now. He ended up being a 90 overall. Cooper, who really didn't play much outside of this season, ended up being a pretty good overall as well. Look at the catching. Not the physical catching, but the catch and traffic and spec catch. Really good release as well. He's a god-tier short route guy, even though he's super tall and speedy. Should be used like a Randy Moss down the field, but it is what it is. Great release for Cooper. Very good down the field. So I guess they have their one of everything, if you will. Let's take a look at Mr. Wall. The 98 overall, 25-year-old X Factor. 98 finesse. Block shed is terrible. So is power move, but he's decent enough. Who else do we have? Mr. Rachel. I don't even know. And I'm just calling him Kendall. 90 overall power blocker, power block shedder. So a different style of guys. You can't just prepare for the finesse bros or whatever. Davidson, who ended up being 90 overall, 97 power move, 83 block shed, was very consistent outside of this last season where he kind of got replaced for no reason. Tremaine Edmonds, the big risk that they're taking in real life, definitely paid off here as he's an X Factor with great block shedding, better than most DTs, and has good enough coverage to play corner if he had to. Trayvon Merrick was a nice big trade piece from trade pick 1 down. Insane zone coverage. He is so freaking good. And then what else do we have on defense? Hufanga we just got. Who cares? I guess Jalen Johnson ended up becoming a 91 overall or 93 overall superstar. Insane man coverage, a little bit of speed, just enough to get it done. What about that cornerback Hayward, who is insanely tall, 6'4" star dev, no zone coverage, but super fast. Even got faster than he started off with, which is pretty wild. Tyreek Stevenson, a real-life rookie of theirs, so obviously want to take a look at him. 87 man, 72 zone. Jervon Dexter we let go, but he was never good at pass rushing. He was only good at block shed. He was like 83 block shed with 70 power and finesse, which is really bad. Andrew Lowe, who we recently got, he's not bad actually. 81 block shed, 72 zone, fast. And then the final player, Mr. Tompkins, who we just paid a 6-year 40 mil to, which is really good for us. Block shed's low, but his zone is good. Really good team. We did get to a Super Bowl, but it was only 1 season of playoffs. Lackluster one, but at least we did get to see a Super Bowl. Let me know what you guys thought. I don't know what else I could do. At that point, I was basically cooked by EA. I'll show you guys that we didn't force any wins or whatever. Obviously, we lost the Super Bowl, so it'd be pretty stupid to try and do that, but there's that. If you guys enjoyed, let me know by leaving a like, maybe subscribing if you're new. If you're not new, really appreciate continued support on the channel, especially here this late into the Madden cycle. Maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel Pkr Plays for non-Madden content. We've been getting close to finishing Jedi Survivor, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Don't know if I'm going to have one tomorrow. We'll see. But main channel probably won't have another upload till Tuesday. And that is about it. If you guys have any suggestions for what team you want to see next, let me know in the comment section below. Saints could be one of the front runners. Same with Raiders. Maybe we'll be the Saints for once, or I'll just keep mentioning it as a meme. I don't know. But that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, fix the coding, dude. Like, see ya.